Hello, welcome to the International Uşak Film Festival. We are here with Eli Salameh. Am I right?
Hello. Yes. Yeah.
Perfect.
That's right.
Welcome, Eli, to the Uşak Film Festival. How are you?
And, I'm doing good. What about you? Thank you for
Uh,
this opportunity.
you're welcome. You can find Eli's filmography in the Uşak Online festival page. There are 4 films of his, starting from 2016 to 2019. There are 4 films. Could you introduce yourself, Eli? Where are you at now? I think you're in Beirut. What are you doing? Please.
I'm Ali. I'm 25 from Beirut. I finished my master's studies in film directing in 2018, and now I'm finishing my second master's degree in cinematography. Uh, Recently, in 2020, there's nothing much to do, but surprisingly, I did 2 music videos. I directed 2 music videos. So these were the highlights of my year.
Cool.
And now I'm writing the first draft of my first feature film. And now I'm in the funding process of my second independent short film, which I developed at Sundance. But short films are harder to fund, so why not start writing my first feature film? Who knows? So these are my plans so far.
Cool. Good plan. So you said that it's harder to fund short films than the feature films, right?
Yeah.
How was your feature draft going? And could you compare the differences between the funding process? Actually, what are the
Right.
difficulties?
So I haven't actually yet started the funding process for the feature film because it's still the first draft. But feature films are easier to fund because the producer can guarantee that he's gonna get his money back because you're gonna put the film in cinemas. Like it has its way of gaining money back, unlike short films, because they're only gonna do like festival tours, etc. But at the same time, short films are essential for a director, so he can get funding for his feature film. Like if you have some good shorts, then you can get higher chances at getting funded for your feature film.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the difference mainly.
You're also have a fellowship in Sundance Ignite.
Yes.
So how did it become? Was it because of your last film? How did you get that opportunity?
So it was in 2018. I did my master's graduation film, The Boy Who Wore the Sun. And then like 2 months later, I woke up to a notification on Facebook. My friend tagged me that there's this competition at Sundance, etc. It felt like a good opportunity because when I read the opportunity that they can offer you if you're a Sundance Ignite fellow, so I decided to write a new short film, which was Exit Beirut. So I wrote it, directed it, edited, and everything in 17 days. Uh, I had my best friends, they were helping me. Like it was a crew of only 3 people, including me. So everyone believed in this project and in the story that we're telling. So, and this was my first independent short film. And they had this slogan that only you can tell your story. So this is why maybe I went for this genre. It was the first time, not the genre, I mean the topic. This was my first time where I tackled this subject because I knew that I'm sending it abroad, so why not? And it happened. So they pre-selected 25 people, and then we had the papers process and documents to fill, etc. And then they chose 15. So we were the finalist 15 winners. So
Mhm.
they took us to Park City in Utah at the festival in Sundance in 2019. This is where we kickstart our fellowship. So each fellow he had a mentor,
Mhm.
and this is where I started writing my second independent short. It's called Disco Beirut
Mhm.
with my mentor Andrew. So the fellowship stayed for 1 year, and then they took us to LA in July to continue our fellowship. Uh, so yeah, so now I'm a Sundance alumni, and they help us a lot. For example, they offered me an 8 weeks online workshop on Sundance Collab to
Yeah.
start writing my feature film. So so yeah, I really advise like everyone to like people aged in between 18 to 25 years old to apply to Sundance Ignite, because who knows, like I'm just a silly young director from Lebanon who was selected to go to Sundance. So if it happens to be, it can happen to anyone, anywhere.
Perfect. Perfect. It's. I think it sounds like a really good opportunity. It
It is,
has so many benefits. I think it's the biggest independent film festival
it is, it is.
in the world. We can say Sundance. So to be participating in that is a great chance. We can say. For your filmography, when we look at your filmography, your first film at 2016, Fly
Yes.
My Love. It's a story about a mother and a son and discussing their relationship, their
Yes.
attachments with each other. How come you get this idea? What was your relationship with this idea? So how I'm asking, how does this film born actually?
All right. So like each year, like every semester since the first year of uni, I always wanted to do something different, something not everybody can think of. So I did all these short films. They are nonsense now, but they helped me to achieve this film.
Hmm.
So in summer 2015, I was finishing my second year of university and entering my third year where we're gonna write our senior film. I was stuck. I didn't know which idea I should tackle. I wanted to do a zombie movie. Like, yeah, it's something totally different.
Hmm.
So I was working in a supermarket so I can pay for my film because it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I was working as a summer job, and then this song on the radio, it was playing in the supermarket. It's for Celine Dion. It's called Vol. It means fly. So I don't know why this was the first time that I listened to this song. It's old. I quickly imagined my mother saying these words to me. So I started writing down like random notes while I was in the supermarket.
Hmm.
And this is where the idea was born because I wanted this movie to heal us, like to heal this relationship between my mother and I, because it was suffocating a little bit, just like the movie. But the movie was more symbolic,
Hmm.
and some events in the movie they actually happened in real life, like the fork, the fighting, etc. So I wanted to make this movie, and she didn't know about it. So then she watched it, like 3 months after finishing it, and we didn't talk about it. But the next day, our relationship changed for the better.
Yeah.
So, so this leads us to my second, no, to my third film, which is The Boy Who Wore the Sun. It was my master's graduation film in 2018.
Hmm.
Uh, so basically, the movie it's about the same character. It's about the same boy, which is me.
Hmm.
But this time, like I wanted to get over something, which is something physical that I have. So I wanted to try the same technique, like if I do a movie about it, maybe I can get over it or whatever. But it didn't quite work. So, so yeah, this is why I called my section Cinema Heals, because like every film that I do, in a way or another, it's too related to me.
Hmm.
So I try to heal from it. Like when I let it out, maybe I can see it objectively later on, and I can see the differences and how I can get over it
Yeah.
and move on.
In Fly My Love, it's also feels like as you said, it's like a curing process, and
Yes.
also it's a grown-up story, growing up story. Uh,
Uh-huh.
Boy to a man, I can say, being alone or leaving all this attachment with
Mhm.
the mother. Uh,
Yeah.
so, but in the following, in your filmography, in the following one, you have a Nazi film, Arya,
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah.
and it's about it's a really interesting film. When you
I,
consider of all of your movies, it's a period piece in a way. And there is a Nazi woman who is trying to make a pure race baby. We
yeah.
afterwards we understand. What was your main concern about this movie film while writing it, while producing it?
All right. So this film, it was a first year master's film.
Hmm.
So we had this topic that we need to make a film with one location, two characters only, and you have to have an oven in the script and in the story. So because it's not a graduation film, and because I'm still a university student, so I was like, why not try something different? Why not try something new?
Yep.
If I fail, who cares? It's not gonna define my career. So I started writing this film. I wanted this thriller genre, a woman cooking something, but it's not food.
Mhm.
It's a baby. So my mentor, he was like, no, I need a motivation behind this. So he wouldn't let me make this movie unless I have like a motivation or a backstory to it, not just like randomly a woman cooking.
Mhm.
So so I thought I had this Nazi idea, like I made this parallelism in between the cruelty of the concept of pure race children, etc. So this was the backstory behind it. As for concerns,
We have a connection problem, I think. Ellie, Ellie, can you hear us? Uh, we had a connection problem. Ellie is with us again. We were talking about his second short film, Arya. So you were talking about the actually it was like a university project
yeah,
and with your tutors and so mainly you decided a horror kind of genre movie. It's like a period piece and it's black and white, but
yeah,
it goes to another direction. A film talking about races and discussing about there is no perfect race at the end. The message is clear at that film. So, how do you feel about that film? Uh,
um, I'm very happy that I've done it because even though it's like a period film, the this subject or this racism that's happening, it's happening in real time, like right now, and we are facing it now more than ever. So the topic is always there, but like we try to highlight this subject so maybe we can all like move on and grow up about it. uh, so this film it premiered in Lebanon in a fantastic film festival, and it won an award, and now It's on a video on demand platform in the Arab world. It's called Cinemas.
Perfect.
So yeah, I'm happy that I did this film because like it's nothing very, very personal to me, but I want to try something different before that I can make my other films, which they
Mhm.
follow Aryan in my filmography.
So it was like your experiment area at that film, we can say,
Yeah,
because in your
exactly.
filmography, the other three films, we can say that the construction of these films are kind of similar. We can taste the same feeling, but this one is kind of
Yeah,
we can put it in another shelf, maybe.
yeah.
Uh,
I guess I know what the same feeling maybe because I always have this scene where they know that it's unreal, and then when you cut,
mhm.
this is not reality. This is a
Yeah,
different thing.
yeah,
So this is something that I really like to do.
yeah. I see. And at the first film, we have also that feeling.
Mm.
Uh, we can talk about the third film, The Boy Who Wore the Sun. It's an intimate film about a boy who has a scar, and uh, he's ashamed of his scar. So one day, their friends asked him to skinny dipping in the beach, and he can't do that. So it's like a really emotional film about an acceptance. Maybe we can talk about the really simple way of accepting yourself in that way. So
Yes.
what was your what was your main idea about this film? How did you start to write this one?
All right. So I didn't know what to do for my master's film, and a year earlier, in 2017, I was at a film festival in Dubai where they were screening my first film, Fly My Love. So there, I met a group of international friends, and and become really close at the festival. So one night, we were hanging out. They decided to go skinny dipping by the beach in Dubai, and obviously I couldn't do that because the film's about me. So I took a picture of them, like having fun. But at that moment, I really felt happy, even though I'm not in the water with them. So in the editing, you see like a blurry picture of
Mhm,
people in the water in the
mhm.
intro. This is the actual picture that I took. I took of them.
Yeah.
So the idea, like this was the seed for an idea for my master's film. 2 months later, I was with another friend. She's in Lebanon, and I was telling her we were like randomly talking intimate stuff, and then I told her that I have this thing on my body, and she was like, "Show me." Uh, I showed it to her. I don't know I don't know why I wasn't shy from her. So I showed it to her, and she was like, she said in French, "Tu portes le soleil." She said, "You're wearing the sun." So at this moment, right now, like ding ding, I was like, "This is my film for next year." So and this is where I started writing my film. Uh, but I didn't get over it. It didn't heal me. So yeah.
Very nice. It's an intimate film.
It is.
It seems like it's talking about like a I don't know, uh, maybe a diversity film kind of thing, but it's not. Actually, it's again we can find some resemblance from your first film, Fly My Love. It's again a growing up story.
Yeah.
And we can talk about your last film, Exit Beirut. It's that one is really unpretentious one, really intimate film. We can say it's considering just maybe half a day. I guess so. The film took place in a half day, maybe.
Yeah. like an
Two hours,
afternoon.
2 hours of time, maybe,
Yeah,
right?
like real time in the story. It's like 2 hours exactly.
So it's a relation between two women. Uh,
Hmm.
so the relationship boundaries is not really written in this film. So while we are watching, we are discovering their relationship.
Yeah.
So what was your initial idea? Again, I'm asking the same question.
All
What
right.
was your initial idea about this film?
So when I first knew about this challenge, this competition at Sundance, like I quickly turned on my laptop and started to write anything. Uh, like I wrote like three scripts, three different stories, but nothing felt quite real. Like this is not what I really want to say or want to show right now.
Hmm.
So later at night, my little cousin came back. Like she came to my bedroom and she was crying. She wanted to say goodbye to me. She was crying because she just said goodbye to her other cousins at the airport. So I felt really emotional about like the way that she's saying goodbye to me before that she leaves.
Hmm.
So I wanted to make a film about goodbyes. At the same time, I wanted to make like a queer movie. I didn't want to write something directly about me. That's why maybe I made a story about two women. And at the same time, like the conversation they have, especially the phone conversation between the mother and her daughter at the end. Uh, these are all like some bits and pieces from my childhood, like something that I've talked to my mother about, like, Mom, I want ice cream or
Hmm.
whatever. So this is where I started writing the idea. Like when this happened and this happened, I combined a lot of ideas that I have written before, like on my notebook,
Hmm.
and this is how the script was born.
Yeah.
The
So
picture was my little son crying.
so- sorry, I couldn't
The
hear
picture was my little cousin crying, and
you.
this is where I tried to put an airport, and 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 this story, like why she's a mother and she's married to a guy, but at the same time she had this feeling for this woman. Maybe because we're in a country or a region that still doesn't support these kind of relationships.
Mhm.
So this is sad. Like she has to hide her identity her whole life just so she can live in this country, in this region.
Yeah. Actually, my next question was that uh, you're a Lebanese filmmaker, so
Yeah.
uh, there are also some challenges that you may not even find in America or some other Western countries, maybe. So also the topics are handling differently in these countries. So, as a Lebanese filmmaker, how do you see the Lebanese cinema? We can maybe talk generally about the Lebanese cinema, and how do you place yourself in that cinema?
Right. So the Lebanese cinema is getting there. Like I mean about the topics. Like we are getting more free to we can talk more about things that we weren't supposed to talk to about before. But
Mhm,
we're slowly getting there. We didn't get there yet.
mhm,
As for the Lebanese cinema, of course, like as all cinemas in everywhere, you have like this commercial cinema and you have this artistic independent
mhm,
cinema.
mhm,
So I I believe that lately people are appreciating more the independent cinema.
mhm.
So it's gaining its place uh, in the cinemas. Uh, wait, I think I lost.
Uh,
What was the
how,
question?
how do you how do you see your cinema with the relation of your country, the place you are living? Because all the
All
stories
right.
originally coming from you, you may feel it when you go to Sundance. You have some kind of maybe different approach. Maybe how do you feel yourself about that?
Uh, Okay, so because of Sundance and the way that they taught us that only you can tell your story and never be afraid to tell your story, like even if only one person is seeing this film, it's about you as an artist, as a character, as a person. You have to tell the story, so you should say it whenever you want. Don't be afraid of anything, especially in our country. But lately, I'm feeling that I'm having this relationship with my country. Like how can I put Lebanon in my films, but at the same time, I'm not making a story about Lebanon. I'm making a story about a certain character, like these hidden characters that maybe no one knows about, these hidden stories in the streets of Beirut that are happening. So my films, they're all about a character that he's in this bigger place that's Lebanon. So it's like a bigger context for the character. So lately, like for example, my second independent short film, which I'm getting the fund right now for, it's called Disco Beirut. It's about the story of two queer men uh, in a street in Beirut. There's no dialogue at all. It's all about them flirting from. They are facing each other in one street, and at the end they go on a date, and they manage to go on a date without saying a word to each other. It's all about signs. It's like a light comedy
Mhm.
movie. And my feature film is also about like the context is about Lebanon, but I'm not talking about Lebanon. I'm talking about a character who happens to live in Lebanon.
Mhm.
So
Uh,
yeah,
I see. So you don't want to express the story of the Lebanese people or your country, but there are people living with some struggle. Maybe your films are character films, we can say, in that manner.
exactly, exactly. In a Lebanese context, if I
In
may say.
Lebanese context. Uh, Thank you very much, Eli.
Thank you
I
for
think
having me.
we have a really productive interview. It was really nice to meet with you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you
Uh,
too, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
if you didn't watch Eli's film, there are four films in his all filmography in Oshak Film Fest. If you have anything else to add to maybe a message to our viewers, our audience, maybe you can make the closing.
Uh, I would like to say that really, whenever you have a story that you're afraid to tell, or you're afraid that someone might judge you, or anything, just really don't be afraid. Just tell the story that only you can tell, and never be afraid. Like as I said, I'm just a young little director in Lebanon who found its way to Sundance. It wasn't easy, but it happened. So you can do it. Just don't be afraid and be true to yourself.
Okay. See you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.